Hi everyone, this video is going to be part one of a Sleepout renovation series with the end goal of getting this unit consented as a sleepout. So this unit was built back in 1990 before New Zealand's building code was introduced. As you could probably see in the footage, it's got quite a few quirks and things that definitely aren't up to current standards, so we'll be addressing those during the series. On top of that, the previous owners have added some bits and pieces that aren't on the original plans, so those will need to be removed or at least disconnected before we can get signed off. The unit's actually pretty tidy inside, so it's a bit of a shame it wasn't done properly from the start. It certainly would have saved me quite a bit of hassle. There's insulation in the ceiling, but I've pulled off a PowerPoint. I can see there's nothing in the walls. So first job is going to be to strip all the jib off the inside of the external walls. Make sure everything's got building paper in it and get the place ready for a pre-line inspection. Before I could get the jib off, I had to take off the power points. I haven't worked with electrical much, so even though the mains were turned off, I was still pretty cautious to begin with, and I ended up testing the outlets with a light just to make sure there was no power there. Once that was sorted, I started on this wall here, removing the baseboard first and then getting into the jib. I figured disconnecting the heat pump was a bit above my pay grade with the refrigerant and everything, so I've got the Sparky coming next week to handle that for me. I was really confused when I smacked a hole in this next wall and saw pink bats behind it. After the sheet came off and this whole section was done, I was really in two minds about pulling off the next sheet, but given how rough some of the other work the previous owners did around the place, I decided to rip the sheet off anyway, and sure enough, no insulation in this section. No idea why they even bothered to do this one bit in the corner here. I was a bit surprised when I tried to punch a hole in the jib here. My hammer just bounced right off. So it turned out they just laid another sheet, or I should say pieces of sheets, over the original jib board. So I took the cabinets off so I could get a proper look at it. And you can see how rough it is behind there. I originally thought I might be able to get away with leaving the tiles up there, but given how shoddy it was, I decided to just rip everything off and start fresh.
Day two.
Once the cabinets were out of the way, the jib with the tiles on it actually came off the wall really easily, so I was glad I decided to pull them off. You can see there's no building paper in the wall here, and that it's got a bit damp, mold's grown in there, so I'll need to sort that out before I put any insulation in here. Much the same story on this wall. The young fella gave me a hand to remove all the fittings and fixtures before I ripped off all the jib. Alright guys, that's the end of part 1. I'm pretty happy with what I got done this weekend, removing the kitchenette and stripping the jib out of these 2 rooms. In the next episode, I'll get the jib out of that last room, get all the mold treated, get building paper in the walls, and start looking at some things that need to be addressed on the exterior. If you liked this video or found it useful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this renovation series. Catch you guys in the next one.